Newspapers around the country are losing subscribers or folding altogether. Even the Oregonian recently laid off 37 of its staff members. With fast food news sites like Twitter on the rise, will traditional newspapers survive? I have to pass this to you, Jack, since you're an insider
yes, they will,
here.
Kelly Jo, and
yes.
I'm glad you asked me that question.
Jack is still here.
Well, I am, and I mean, it's a very sad situation. And anybody who's been in an organization where other people have been laid off.
And I knew that some of the people who were laid off too.
So highly talented people, and I mean, it was my worst day in my career at a newspaper, and I've been in newspapers for almost 30 years. I think that, you know, newspapers are going to survive. The model has been broken. We're not quite sure how we're going to get that revenue stream coming back, but we also are in one of the worst, we've been in the worst recession since the Great Depression. The fact is that what newspapers bring to the table is branding. If something happens in the Oregon legislature, you're going to know about it through the Oregonian 95 times out of 100. We're not going to lose that. We have to think about the Oregonian and other daily newspapers as a multi-platform information source. You can't just go to Twitter, you can't go to the websites, you can't just do one thing. I mean, the Oregonian is we have video, we have streaming audio, we have print, we have online, we have lots of ways to get the Oregonian. That's going to be the future of newspapers. I'm actually very optimistic, and in a way that many people aren't. I think that we may see a resurgence of the print newspaper. I think once we know that, for example, fewer and fewer younger people are reading the print paper, but there's actually a beauty to the print product. It's a habit. It's a lifestyle almost. You get up in the morning and you read the Sunday paper and you drink your coffee, and I think people may come back to that at some point.
I agree, because I think eventually people are going to want to know, so and so blog said this. Where did they get their sources
News from nowhere.
Who can stand behind what they said? And I also know that in Europe, the model they're using there, and newspapers are doing much better because they're using the web to drive people to the newspaper, and the newspapers in Europe are flourishing. Now, there's a difference, obviously, because especially in London, people get 2 or 3 newspapers into their home every day, because Europe tends to be more reader-oriented with having something in their hands rather than always sitting in front of the internet. So I think that there's a level of things going on. Plus, you have people getting a little skeptical. How many things does Rupert Murdoch really own, and whose thought
You'd be
is
very
coming?
surprised.
Actually, I wouldn't be very surprised. He owns way too much. Do we all want to get Fox News as our only source of information?
No. I could settle for that. I'll admit an addiction right here. We get the Oregonian, the News Times, and Forest Grove, and the Argus. And sometimes we subscribe to the Capital Press. And every time I have 20 minutes to look at the paper, it's worth the cost of that issue.
It's a highly time-efficient way to get news.
And it elaborates on something you just, like the layoffs last night. It picked up a little bit on the news, but you get a chance to read it, see, now, was it all caused by this or that? And to me, it's indispensable. Yeah. And particularly as I have more time, I just really enjoy the newspaper.
So you think that people will come back to, everybody has kind of gone away because of just the convenience of the internet, but I personally actually, when I get a chance, I do like to read the paper. But anyway, I can't even let you speak because we're out of time.